Hi everyone, welcome to Acad Systems free online courses. I'm Hakim, and with me today, we are on the 8th lesson of our free online course for Revit Architecture. And for today's topic, it will be on ceilings and roofs. Okay, so if you haven't checked out the previous lessons, you can go to our YouTube channel and just search Acad Systems and you can check out the previous lessons. Okay, without further ado, let's go to Revit. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen and hear my voice clearly, right? So from our previous lessons, we have learned about how to create walls, floors, adding windows, doors, and create curtain walls. So today is about ceilings and roof. Okay. Okay. So we will continue from this model. Okay, first I'm gonna create the ceilings. Okay, for the ceilings, right now I'm in 3D view. You can actually create from 3D view as well, but I would suggest better you create it from the roof level. So I just go to the roof level. Okay, so here my roof level, basically I don't see the building, it's empty. Why? Because if we check out in our elevation view, okay, the roof level is exactly on top of this wall. So anything below that can't be seen. Okay. So how do we adjust? We can actually tweak around with the visibility settings or visual range setting, view range settings to see the model below. Okay. So from your roof plan, go to the properties and then find view range and click edit. So here you can see there is a view depth. For the fourth option, the bottom option, there's a view depth, and currently it is set to the associated level roof. So this thing, you can change it to associate with the level below. So if the level below is first floor, or if you want to see to the ground, you can select ground floor or unlimited. Okay, but I will just choose level below, ground floor, and click apply. Okay, so as soon as I click apply, I can now see the walls below this roof level. So if you want to understand more on this view range, you can click show. Here it will explain you using this diagram on how they set all this view range. Okay, so now we have seen the our walls, so we can quickly create the ceilings. So from your architecture tab, just go to build panel and then ceiling command. Just look for ceiling command and click. So you have two options here, using automatic ceiling or sketch ceiling. Okay, so if sketch ceiling will be pretty similar to how you create floors. So while creating floors, you will draw the boundary, right? So the same thing with ceilings, you will use this line to draw the boundary. Okay, but since we have these four walls that created a room space, we could very easily choose automatic ceiling. Okay, automatic ceiling, and then you need to choose what kind of ceiling that you're using. So currently I'm using just the basic ceiling. This is the default ceiling, plain. Okay, and then I will just bring my cursor to this room. Okay, so this one, it might not be able to detect the room. So I will try with another view. Maybe I'll try ceiling plan view. first floor. And just repeat the process, ceiling, automatic ceiling. Okay, so this is better. So I'm sorry for that. So you can go to ceiling plan first floor, since we're doing the ceilings at first floor level. Okay, and then take that command, use automatic ceiling, and just hover your mouse to one of the space. Okay, and then click. You will see the boundary, the red boundary, and click. So you'll load for a while, and it will create for you a ceiling. So you might not see it here, but if I change this to the 3D view, you can see here there is a ceiling. Okay. So you will just continue placing it at other spaces. Okay. But actually, one thing I miss is, it's not really miss, I'll just purposely do this because I'm using the default height. If you look at the properties, it's at the ceiling that I'm placing is at first floor and the height is 2600. So if you need to change this, you can change this value. Okay, if not, you can just use the default. And if you have placed the ceiling, but then only you realize that you want to change the height, you can still do that by just clicking on that ceiling, and it will bring up the same properties, and then you can just change this value. So let's say I just want to make it a little bit higher, so 2800. Okay, now you can see it move and it's higher from the rest. Okay, so that is ceiling. Now moving on to roof. Okay, for roof, I will go to roof level. Okay, and then I have already then make it possible to see the walls below. And then from the architecture tab again, I can find roof. Okay, so there are a few options on how to create the roof, but I will use the most common one, which is roof by footprint. Okay, I'll click on that. Okay, so just to get you on page, creating roof are quite similar to how you create floors. You will have to draw the boundary. Okay, you can see here there is option for boundary. Okay, so just as you draw your floor, just draw the perimeter of your roof. So for drawing, I will use pick line. And then because a roof usually would have overhangs, so I put in some offset here by 1000. Okay, and then I go around the perimeter of this house. You see that it automatically creates an offset value. Okay, so now I have gone through all the sides. Now I have to trim it and make sure it is in one closed loop. Okay, so the only difference between roof, I will not say the only difference, but difference is for roof and floor is, if floor you are drawing the boundary, you will not have this icon here. But since we are doing roof, we have this icon. Okay, this icon actually, it shows that this would have an angle. Okay, this have an angle, and that value will be 30 degrees. So it's not necessary that you must have all the angles at each side, but for now, I'll just leave as it is. Okay, and then I click finish and go to my 3D view. So you can see it creates this kind of roof. Okay, so if you have other types of roof that you want to use, you can either you set it before you draw the roof, or if you have drawn it, you can just select on it and change the type of roof. Okay, just like that from the properties. So now I'll go back to my roof plan, click on the roof, edit the footprint. Okay, so if you click edit footprint, you can change the footprint of your roof if it's needed. Okay, so let's see what if I want to turn off the angle for this side. That would mean at this part of the roof and the front part will not have this sloping. Okay. Click here, edit footprint, and click on that line. Up here, it says define slope, and I will uncheck that. Okay. And at the back as well, I will do uncheck the define slope. So for the front and back, I turn off the slope. Now I click on finish. Go to the 3D view. So here, you can see at the front part will no longer have the sloping. So it creates this kind of roof. At the back, we'll have something like this as well. Okay. So now it looks like it's floating. So I want to bring it the level down a little bit and connect to the walls. So I will select this roof and bring it some offset. So at the base offset from level, so I will put here negative 300. Okay, just to bring it down by a little bit. And then to fill up these gaps, I can use my wall, click on my wall, and then there is attach top on our ribbon. Click on attach top and click on the roof. Okay, so that will bring our walls to attach to the roof nicely like this. Okay, so you will continue and do for the rest of your walls. Click on your wall, attach top, and click on the roof. Okay, so that will be it for today's topic on how to create ceilings and roof. I hope you learned something valuable from this lesson. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. We'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.